Now, the comment lines are open if you do want to get through to us on this Wednesday morning. We're with you until 12 midday. Well, it's a great and heavy heart for any of you that have been involved with me down through the long number of years as on the Chicago Sister Cities Committee, indeed, and those that have travelled to Chicago and Milwaukee with us down over the last 25 years. Next August will be my 25th anniversary travelling to Chicago and Milwaukee. But down through those years, indeed, the relationship between Chicago has been built, and built with a number of people in mind, a number of them that we've lost, and one that we lost the weekend before last. I was away last week, indeed, I was off last week. But we lost a mighty man called Bill Gaynor, and Bill was the co-chair of the Galway Sister City Committee in Chicago for a long number of years. He just wasn't co-chair, indeed. He was a man who got things done. He was a man about town. He just had the contacts. He had political contacts. He worked for AT&T all of his life. He started out, indeed, working like the lads in Aircom did on the pole here, and he climbed the ranks, indeed, to a very senior position with AT&T. He was their government relations officer, and he was dealing with like White House and the mayor's offices and all that. But when Bill walked into the room, the room went quiet, and he'd make some very quick quips, so he would. He was a bit of a stand-up comedian as well. But then he got down to the duty of the day. He passed away, but his co-chair, indeed, for the last number of years, since he arrived in Chicago, is Senator Billy Lawless, who joins me from Kildare Street in Dublin. Billy, morning to you.
Good morning, Keith. How are you?
Joining. Kind of a very heavy heart. Bill hadn't been well for a while.
No, unfortunately, he the last couple of years, his health was failing. And then he got Parkinson's a couple of years ago as well.
That's not that many years ago, though, Bill.
No, about two years ago, I think. But he was larger than life. He's actually one of the first people I met when I went to Chicago. And you're dead right there. He opened up any contacts that you needed. Bill had them. He was one of those guys about town, and as you said, started out as a linesman with the phone company and ended up as their government relations director. And he was co-chair myself for the Galway Committee, Sister City Committee, for the last 20 years. So it was a sad week, so it was. A
very sad week. Now, he had very strong Galway connections. Well, his wife, Jerry, indeed, who has lost her best buddy, her soulmate, her friend. They were like peas in a pod, as I said on a note I sent to them. And the duo has been split. One has gone up and one is still with us, indeed. But very strong tune connections as well.
Yeah, Mary Lally was Mary is a cousin of Jerry's, and but they were huge Irish people, Irish Americans. Bill was Irish through and through, as green as they come. Fantastic guy, really, and very involved in charitable works as well. He was on the board of directors for Mercy Home for Boys and Girls, which was established for homeless boys in Chicago and girls in Chicago. And also Misericordia Home, which supports people with intellectual disabilities. He was a big fundraiser for the Misericordia as well. And in fact, his sister spent many years in the home, so I suppose he had a personal interest in it as well. But really good man. I never saw as many people at a wake. I think there must have been over 2,000 people, I think, visited on last Thursday for his wake. Really big occasion, so it was.
I know you were in the Shannons and you got home in time for the funeral, which was a very, very big of you. But Bill wouldn't expect that, but he would be looking down saying, there's Lawless now, and he made the trip back over again. He used to call me Kiddo because there was a little bit of an age difference between us, but he was looking out for Kiddo. He always referred to me as Kiddo. But he had that endearing, and I meant what I said. When he walked into a room, the room could be alive no matter where you were, Chamber of Commerce, be it in your own building there, the Legacy building, be it wherever you went into. But the room would go, once Bill came in, he had that presence about him, that kind of regal presence about him. The room went quiet, and then he kind of said, carry on.
Yeah, he's great. But he's really Chicagoan as well, really involved in Chicago politics, old-style politics with the dailies and interesting man, so he was. But a good guy, great guy. He loved Galway, loved coming to Galway.
Now, his children, Bridget, Nora, Billy, Maureen, Mary and Sheila, he's 17 grandchildren. And typical of Bill, I mean, his last grandchild was born 24 hours before he passed away.
Yeah, that's it.
He hung on in there.
I would think so, yeah. And he just died the day before Patrick's Day. So someone said that he was one of the founder members as well of the Southside Chicago Parade. and which is only a couple of blocks from his home.
Yeah.
And man, was he proud of that parade. He used to have a float themselves for the Gaynor float, and it's huge parade. It's normally on the day after the downtown.
The downtown
parade.
one will be on the Sunday. I know I was at that many years ago. Would it be 25, maybe 30 years ago? But it's one of the longest parades I was ever at. John Mulholland was mayor for the first time at the time. There was a Chinese takeaway behind it. They kept feeding us fried rice to keep us warm. But it's the longest parade, I think it was. They went on for 5 or 6 hours.
It does. At least down in Chicago, we just have about 7 blocks, so it's not too bad. It's over and a half. When you start to finish, is about a half an hour. Now it goes on for a couple of hours, but the South Side parade just goes on forever. So it does.
Now, Bill had strong Cork contacts, as we said, Mary Lally, of course, in Galway and others, and he had many friends in and around Galway, in Upterard, in Galway City, in Tuam, and in Moylock. He made friends everywhere.
He did, and he's well. See, Cook County, which is Chicago's in Cook County, and Cook County is one of the biggest counties in the country. Cook County and Cork County were twinned as well, and Bill was chair of that also. And a fantastic relationship going back as long as the Galway connection is, over 20. That's their 20th anniversary this year, with the twinning with Chicago. But there's a great bunch of people in Cork County as well. And one of them, John Carney, he is scuba diving school, but Bill initiated there a few years back bought 8 boys from Chicago, homeless boys who were in there down
Mercy
to
Home for boys,
unbelievable. They were never even out of Chicago. They're mind out of the country. I
met a group a few years ago.
Right.
And talk about guys and girls rehabilitating very quickly. They'd never been on a plane. They'd never been. I don't think they'd been on a train or mind a plane. They arrived into Shannon Airport. The direct flight was there at the time, down to Cork, and I happened to be in Cork. I met them. Good God, he gave them a quality of life. And I know he kept in contact with every one of them. But he gave them a quality of life that they would never have gotten.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I mean, that's the type of person that he was, very charitable and involved in fundraisers. Any fundraiser was there, Bill was behind it.
He was first to put his hand in his pocket.
Yeah, but he's just good man. Yeah. Good man.
Now, will politics, I know Bridget, his daughter, is politically minded. Do you reckon, would any of the family go into politics? Bill Jr.?
Well, I doubt it. Well, Bridget is the commissioner with Cook County, and she actually was slated at one stage to go for mayor, but she didn't go in the end. So now we have run off two African Americans, Tony Perkwinkle and Laurie Lightfoot, on next week. So it'll be the first African American woman mayor. Yeah.
Well, listen to Jerry and to the family. Indeed, I know we're going to have a gathering there in August to remember and to celebrate his life in some kind of a memorial service. But for any of the thousands that came with us across to Chicago in August, indeed, they will all remember Bill Gaynor.
Absolutely.
And thanks to Clem Walsh, indeed. It was Clem that told me about it. But thanks to Clem and to everybody else, indeed, who has been part of that. But it's quite amazing to think that he's gone, but he's shining down. I read a lovely eulogy by Father Sean, by Father Finnegan, by Father Scott Donoghue, indeed, President and CEO of the Mercy Home for Boys and Girls. And I'd love to publish it. I think it should be published, but good Lord, you couldn't get a better tribute to any one man in the world than he wrote. So well done to him on that.
Well, to the tribute to him as well. I think I counted 14 priests on the altar the day of his mass. So he got a royal send off. So he did.
You and I'd be lucky to have one to plant us. So, well, listen, good luck, and we'll be keeping an eye on that election as well. And again, condolences. And I know when we're doing something as sad as saying farewell to a friend like Bill Gaynor, we shouldn't giggle and laugh. But I'll tell you one thing, the man that I knew would expect us to giggle, laugh, have a bit of fun. And if a fella, I don't drink whiskey, I don't drink spirits at all, but if a fella was a whiskey drinker, to raise a whiskey in his honour. So hopefully we'll do that with a glass of water or orange juice or something in August. Now it's 11:23. We're back just after these.